Hi 645 class. Welcome to your final spring 2020 theory video. In this video we are going to work on two different 2-octave scales in third position. So we will be working on the C major scale in third position and the D major scale in third position. As a reminder, anytime you are going to be playing something, or especially practicing something in third position, I'd like to ask you to shift, what I call shift properly, into third position before you begin. What that means is I want you to do your good old shift on A string between B and D, and make sure that you are properly in third position before you start. Now, the C major 2-octave scale in third position starts with first finger on the G string. So after you have shifted up properly on the A, you can then take your first finger and hop it over to the G string, and that is the note C. Because this scale starts on the G string on first finger, it has the same hand frame as the A major scale in first position. That is to say, high threes on low strings and low threes on high strings. It will also have all high twos. So in other words, 1 and 2 will never touch. 2 and 3 will not touch on the D and G, but they will touch on the A and E. Now in third position, of course, you also have no open strings. You must use fourth finger. The fourth finger will not change throughout this. It will be a half step from the high third finger and a whole step from the low third finger. So this is exactly like if you were playing the A major scale in first position and using fourth finger instead of opens, in other words. So again, this is the C major scale, 2 octaves. In third position, it will start 1 on the G and go up to 3 on the E string, low 3 on the E, and then go back down. So let's do this together. Go ahead and put your violin up. We'll do our shift properly into third position. And now you're going to hop your 1 all the way over to the G string to play the note C. And now that your C is ready, remember high threes on low strings and low threes on high strings. You must also use 4. Half notes. 1, 2, ready, go. Repeat that note and turn around. Before we move on to the D major scale, I want to take a short detour and talk about open string tuning. Probably all of you have heard me talk about this at this point, but a reminder is always helpful. The idea with open string tuning is that anytime you play a note on the violin that shares a name with an open string, in other words, any G natural, D natural, A natural, or E natural, you can and should tune that note to the corresponding open string. If you are playing that note perfectly in tune, the physics of the violin are such that the corresponding open string will ring sympathetically, and you can hear that. That makes the violin sound sort of extra resonant and alive. It's one of the coolest things about playing a string instrument. But it also means that those notes have to be perfectly in tune. So I'd like to take a moment now, using the C major scale, which does have all 4 open string notes, right? Because in fact, All the notes of a C major scale are naturals. And I want to show you how you could use open string tuning to work on tuning the C major scale in third position. Open string tuning is especially helpful in positions other than first position because, of course, you don't usually play the open strings if you're not in first position. So making sure that you are remembering to tune to them anyway is a good way to make sure that you're playing in tune with the violin itself, and that when you play with other people, you will be in tune with them as well. So let me show you what I mean. So, as always, I'm going to shift properly into third position. Right away, I've shifted to the note D. I can check this D with open D. Watch. Hey, it matches. And in fact, when I play this D, my D string is ringing. If you're not sure, you can try touching it with another finger and see if you can feel or hear the vibration. If you can't tell, it's okay. You can always just tune directly. Play the note D, play the open D, go back and forth until it's correct. So I've tuned my D, and now I hop over to C. Now if we were a cellist or a violist, we would have a C string, but unfortunately we don't, so we can't tune that first note. But the second note is once again D. Now, because this D is the exact same octave as our open D should ring very easily. And you can always check by playing the open D. The third note is E, which is also an open string note. Now, E, of course, E string is very skinny, and it vibrates the least sort of enthusiastically of any of the strings. So this one you might have to just check. And I don't know if you can hear it on this YouTube video, but my E string is in fact ringing. Maybe you can hear it a little bit in the after resonance. The next note is F, which is not an open string note. The next note is G, which is an open string note. You can actually watch the G string vibrating. It's pretty cool if you get that note perfectly in tune. The next note is A, which is an open string note. And then the last two notes, B and C, are not. So in a C major scale, the only notes that are not open string notes are F, B, and C. The other four notes, G, D, A, and E, are all open string notes. That means that more than 50% of the pitches, 4 out of 7, are open string notes. Now, you can go through like I just did and tune every single open string note, but sometimes that can be kind of distracting, or it can feel sort of daunting. So what I often do is pick just 1 or 2 pitches to focus on at a time. So I might decide, okay, on this playthrough, I am going to focus on G and D, and maybe another day or another playthrough, I focus on A and E. Or I could just focus on A, or I could just focus on E. The way that you use open string tuning is completely up to you, but I strongly encourage all of you to spend some time with it, especially as you're spending more time up in third position, perhaps in second and fourth position, and maybe even others. Open string tuning is a really important way to stay, essentially to make sure that you're actually playing the correct notes. Not just that your hand is in tune with itself, but that you are playing a G for real when you think you're playing a G, for example. All right, so I also said we were going to do the D major scale in third position, 2 octaves. Now the D major scale, of course, will have a different hand frame. It will start on the second finger on the G string and end on the fourth finger on the E string. And just the same as the B major hand frame in first position, which starts on 2 on G. This one starts on 2 on G in third position, and so it will have high and low 4s. All of your 3s will be high, all of your 2s will be high, but happily, no high ones in this scale. Now, if you were to play a first finger note, that would be C sharp, and it would be high 1 on the G string, but that does not appear in the 2-octave scale. Okay, so did you get that? High 4s on low strings and low 4s on high strings. Start on 2 on G and end on 4 on E. All right, so as usual, we will shift up properly to 3rd position. And now, instead of hopping my 1 over to the G string like I did for C major, I'm simply going to find 2 on the G string. It's the note D. And of course, it's an open string note, so I can check it with open D. And I strongly encourage you to do so to make sure that you're in tune before starting. All right, high 4s on low strings, low 4s on high strings. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Low 4, right by 3. Play that note again and then go back down. Now high 4. Bring your elbow forward if you need. Don't forget to bring your bow arm up to play on the G string. Now, my friends, remember, D major has F sharp and C sharp, but neither F nor C is an open string note on the violin anyway. So you still have access to all 4 of your open strings in this key. And once again, I would encourage you to use them. You can try all 4. You can try just 2. You can try just 1, whatever works for the best for you. But because the tonic of the D major scale is D and is an open string note, I would very strongly encourage you, at the very least, to make sure that you're focusing in on the intonation of D. All right, that's all for now. Happy practicing.